In the golfing world, at least in my experiences, Vokey has been around ever since I can remember. I always wanted to put them in the bag, and I was thrilled when I had the opportunity to. This year we have SM9 spin milled, once again has made its return. Little subtle tweaks, including 6 grind options, and it sounds like Titleist is very, very interested in you going out and making sure you have the best grind for your game. My question before we really get started today is, how involved are you with the Vokey experience? Have you had them in the bag? Do you want them in the bag? Is SM9 at the very top of your list to try? We're here to hit a few shots today to see what they're doing. I've had experiences with the versions in the past, so we will definitely talk about the variances there. And then we'll go to table view as we always do and let you know what I've seen out of my experience. And you can go ahead and for yourself. All right, here we are in the bay. I have with me SM9 52 degree in my preferred grind option in this portion of the bag, which would be the F. I feel like it plays a lot more like an iron there, and that's typically how I like to play my wedges. So let's hit a few shots and talk through them. See if we can get pretty close to this hole. All right, a little bit of a long swing pull off the rip here, and that's not so bad for me. If I do have a miss, I either leave the ball open a little bit and let it slide to the right, or I just get a little too long and come across it a bit to the left. So 115, I'm very happy with that. We're playing Pro V1X here, and the spin numbers are supporting that right around 10,700 RPMs, which I think for the 52 is probably right around where I'd be looking. Get that green side action. Let's keep hitting. All right, couple different shots out of the gate. That one was a little bit heavy. Speed's represented a little bit lower, as is the spin. What I really like about that is I do still have that nice control off this F grind. It is performing pretty much the way I want to. I understand we're off what I would consider to be a very nice mat, but I think it would do much the same off of traditional turf. So let's get back here and try and hit a couple good ones. All right, first good one out of the gate, nice and clean. 95-mile-an-hour ball spin as it covers the hole a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty strong right there. Yeah, I'm in that 10,000 RPM window for spin. I'm definitely looking for that. I want that launch angle to be probably in and around 20 with about a descent of just over 30. And I've kind of nailed all of those things. As I've experienced in the past with SM, it seems to always be a great fit. I love that. Let's hit one or two more here. Okay, left is the name of the game. I hit this one a little bit for power, and what that means is if I'm trying to get to a number and I don't want to lay off something, that was the intent here. Usually for me that means a little bit left, but it also represents that there is a little bit of variance here that you can create despite the fact that it is a very bladed wedge. Very happy to see that. So we'll hit one more control shot. See if we can snuggle one up to the pin here, and then we'll go to table view and talk about it. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. Similar to what I would consider to be my best shot, which is great. I'd like to see that consistency when I am playing for control, as I mentioned, in that 113-yard range. I will talk a little bit about sound when we go to table view, and then let's look at the data and see what we've come up with. As promised, here we are in table view. I figured I'd give you table while I talked a little bit about the sound. I think from a Vokey perspective, it's very consistent. Over the years, I've tried a bunch of different versions, and I appreciate their intent of maintaining that consistent sound profile that I believe a lot of people have come to absolutely love. Now, I prefer a little bit of a softer ball when I play, which definitely performs from an audible perspective better to my ears off the Vokey. So more on lines of like a Pro V1, maybe an AVX, that kind of profile. But that's just me playing the same golf ball for quite a while. Let's move into the actual table itself. First thing I want to feature is the ball speed. With a blade style wedge, I love to see the consistency, with the exception of the one that I made claims that I hit fairly fat. That would be shot number 2 at 86 mile an hour. Everything else was in that 95-degree range, with the exception of the one I claimed I was going to put a little bit of extra juice on. So I like to see that consistency. Now, in terms of where I hit it on the face, there's not a lot of variance there. I was a little bit toe side of center, and I definitely maintain that lower end of the ball or the club head. I'm not usually a guy who hits my wedges higher on the face. So that gives you an idea where that profile stands there. But everything else is in line with what I'm looking for. Peak was very consistent. I really appreciated the descent angle, because I definitely want my ball to drop aggressively onto these greens, but I'm not really a high spin guy with my wedge play, especially not in the 52-degree range. Backspin, again, very consistent, with the exception of the one I hit a little bit heavy. And that's what I love to see out of a wedge. It's very telling that it's a wedge that suits my swing, and I will definitely consider SM9 for my bag this year based on what I've experienced. Once again, I want to circle back on the grind options before we close out the video. They have done very interesting things this year. You can see the intent and the consideration of the wedge head based purely on not only the loft, but also the grind itself. And you see on the 60-degree, there's a very significant bevel to maintain that visual profile while supporting their concept of that sort of forward CG, a little bit higher this year way of designing the club. I really appreciate those subtle elements, and I hope you do too. Go hit them. Let us know what you think in the comment section or on our socials.